Hi, how you doing? Okay, good. It's official. I'm in the mountains. Right now, I'm standing about a kilometer from Kananaskis, Alberta, and the reason that I'm here is to stay in a 300 square foot prefab home with floor-to-ceiling windows on 2 walls. So, it's right in front of me. Let's check it out. This is the looking glass built by Modern Modular over in Nisku, Alberta, located at Skyridge Glamping. It's actually Unit 11 if you want to come stay here for yourself. If you've seen anything on the channel from Modern Modular, you know they build a steel frame prefab home and they ship all over North America. And I was thinking when I walked up, when they dream these things up, they're thinking, yeah, someone could put this in front of a big important view. But even in your wildest dreams, I don't know that you'd foresee it landing in a place quite like this. Let me show you around. I'm going to do my best to balance between showing the home and showing the view, because the view is definitely distracting on this site. So what we're looking at here is the back of the looking glass, and you'll notice they've got the mini split on the outside. That's one of the heat sources inside this home. No windows on the back. We've got the bathroom over here. This is kind of a storage area with a hot water tank and a place to hang clothes. We'll look at that a little bit closer when we get inside. Coming down the side of the home, window into that section just for a little bit of natural light. You've got a window in the door before getting to the floor-to-ceiling glass on the front of the home, where again, you can enjoy some of these views. Coming down the stairs, you will notice they've got a faux wood siding on this home. That's actually metal siding that looks like wood. And they've built a nice size deck off the side where you can sit in the winter. They've got a fire pit here and just take in some of these views. If I didn't already know, I would have definitely thought that this model was designed specifically for this property and for this view. However, it is the standard floor plan with some upgrades. What we've got on the end of the home, of course, is the big floor-to-ceiling window, and just beyond that, on the interior, is the bed. So when you wake up in the morning, that is going to be the first thing that you see. Now, down the side, over here, we've got a window at the end that goes into the bathroom. It's got frosted glass, so really that's the only window on this side. The rest is solid wall, which is great because this side backs onto the next cabin. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out that this is not the kind of environment that a prefab home is typically delivered to. We're literally standing in the mountains. However, that doesn't mean that it can't exist here. One of the things about modulars that some people might not understand is they're built for the requirements in the area that they're delivered to. So this home is built to the specs and requirements of Kananaskis, meaning it's going to have a higher snow load, among other things that allow it to exist in this environment. Yep, it's time. Let's check out the inside. You know, I've seen some stuff and a few things, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. Before I can tell you what it's like to stay in a 300 square foot prefab home, I have to stay in a 300 square foot prefab home. So I'm going to do that tonight and I'll check back tomorrow. However, one thing I am very familiar with is today's sponsor. If managing your rental feels chaotic, it's probably not you, it's your tools. When listings, applications, leases, rent payments, maintenance requests, and bookkeeping are all spread across different platforms, things get stressful fast. That's what I like about TurboTenant. Everything lives in one simple dashboard. One place to manage your entire rental without the constant back and forth or juggling spreadsheets. You can advertise your listing to all the major renter sites like apartments.com, screen tenants for free, and review applications all in one spot. When you find the right tenant, TurboTenant lets you create state-specific lease agreements, collect e-signatures, and automate rent payments. No printing, scanning, or chasing checks. Tenants can submit maintenance requests directly through the platform, communication stays organized, and your income and expenses are automatically tracked, which makes bookkeeping and tax season way less painful. Managing your rental shouldn't feel like getting nickeled and dimed, which is why TurboTenant offers offers a free plan that gives you access to professional listing and screening tools with zero monthly overhead. But for the landlord ready to scale, their premium plan pays for itself by eliminating per document fees and putting rent in your bank account faster with expedited payouts. If you want to save time, reduce stress, and manage your rentals like a pro, check out Turbo Tenant. One dashboard, everything you need. I'll drop the link in the description. This just in, I slept incredibly well. Last night, I took the kitchen for a test drive and reheated my regionally famous burritos. Ate them in bed, then pretended to eat at the bar for the video. I worked on my checker strategies before doing some light reading on the bear spray can, which made me wonder if wildlife could see into the cabin at night. Whoa, it's actually quite a bit darker than I was expecting out here. Current time is 10:30 p.m. Current temperature is -15, and I'm gonna make my way down to the front. Stand by. Well, with the lights at full pin, turns out I can see in fairly clearly. I'm definitely going to utilize the curtains, and hopefully my bomb burritos didn't wake any bears out of hibernation. As you can probably see in the video, we've got a completely different day today. It's snowing. It's currently -13 degrees outside. Inside is running at a tropical 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which works out to around 26 degrees Celsius. So not a lot of issues with the heat, but I did notice a couple things that I do want to touch on. Beside the bed and over by the bathroom, they've added these space heaters. It was very cold last night and they weren't necessary, so I'm kind of thinking they're in here as a backup plan because, as you know, stuff can break. So what happens if the heat pump breaks? Then you have nothing. And I'm thinking that's why they're in here as kind of a just in case. So my thought was, you could have a secondary heat source in here from the factory and it wouldn't take up any floor space, like a little baseboard heater between the bed and the kitchen and maybe over in the utility space. And that way you've got a backup plan if something does go wrong with the heat pump, because stuff happens, simple as that. Now, as far as the layout goes, we are running at 12 feet wide by 25 feet long, and that gives us the 300 square feet. And the way they've got it set up is with the bedroom being combined with the living room. They've got a very comfortable king bed in here, but how this would be set up is going to depend entirely on how the home is being used. Obviously, this is set up for overnight stays, and with that, the king bed works very well. You can sit on it, they've got lots of pillows, or you can sit where I'm sitting right now. But if you're going to live in it more full time, or it's going to be for longer stays, you could definitely put a Murphy bed or something that folds up and folds down in that space. Again, just depends what it's being used for. And let's check out the kitchen. If I had to describe this kitchen in one word, I would go with compact. And I think it's perfect because it's got everything I need, but also fits very well into the 300 square foot space. So let's take a look around. They've got the apartment size fridge over here with the convection oven on top. That's where I was working my burrito magic last night. On the counters, they've got the 2-burner cooktop here, and then it goes to the sink there, wraps around for a little bit of prep space that doubles as somewhere to eat for 2 people right there, which I think is awesome. As far as storage goes, they've got the bank of 3 drawers there. You got your standard under sink storage. This is legroom and bar stool spot there. Up top, they've got a wraparound shelf for pots, pans, plates, bowls, glasses right there. And then on this side, you've got another bank of drawers. And to me, it makes sense to have more everyday stuff over here rather than kitchen stuff because it's kind of close to the door. So in my head, over there, that's the kitchen bank, and this is the everyday storage bank. All in all, did everything I needed it to do and then some. So perfect size kitchen for the space, everything that I needed. Let's head down here. Right down at the end of the home, I will call this the all-purpose space. So you can see they've got the second space heater there. They've got some storage here, place to hang stuff, as well as a shelf up above. And then as I come around this side, they have got a coffee bar, which I got into this morning, sitting on top of the cabinet that is holding the hot water tank. So there you have it. Going through this door, you arrive in the bathroom. In the back corner of the home, they've got the bathroom, which is complete with a nice, very nice walk-in shower. They've got the toilet, obviously, and they've got a vanity right here that has a bit of storage down below. as well as the window. Almost missed it. This isn't steam, or maybe it is partially steam because I just got out of the shower, but it is also frosted. Now, my favorite part about this bathroom is the shower specifically, and this is weird, but it's the way the water drains in this shower. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think typically in a shower, it's going to drain into the middle and you just kind of don't notice, but the water goes down into the middle of the shower. But on this one, the drain is on one side. So it pools down to the center and then runs to one side, and it almost looks like a river. It was kind of mesmerizing. If this is something that's common and I just haven't noticed it, let me know, but I was quite enjoying it. That pretty much wraps up the bathroom. Let me tell you my overall thoughts on the looking glass from Modern Modular. I just now noticed that there's another mountain out this window. I've been looking at this one the whole time and didn't even notice there's another one over there. This scenery is absolutely outrageous. And for this purpose, the looking glass from Modern Modular, I don't know what more you could ask for, because this is the reason you come out here, is to look at the mountains and be inside and cozy while it's negative whatever outside. And what better way to do that than floor to ceiling glass on multiple walls? I think they hit it out of the park for this purpose. I don't know how many places in the world look like this. So I don't really know much about the glamping market. Maybe there's a need for this all over the place. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm glad they put it here because this is awesome. Again, you come out here for this, and what better way to look at the mountains than from a king-size bed? There you have it, folks. The looking glass from Modern Modular at Skyridge Glamping right here in Kananaskis, Alberta. I think it's called the Sky View on their website. I'll put the link to that down below in the description in case you want to come check it out. Now, as far as pricing goes, last time I talked to Modern Modular, they were starting at 150,000 Canadian dollars and went up to around 182, but things could change. That kind of gives you an idea of where they start. I hope you enjoyed the tour. That is it for me here in Kananaskis. What a spot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.